When Grandma's funeral preparations were going on, Lou also comes there. Actually, he had come with his boss. But while leaving from here, he was also leaving after teasing Yuji. His boss's name was Mr. Feng. But in Mr. Feng's past, Grandma and Yuji's dad had very good relations. That's why he had come to see them one last time. While leaving from there, he starts telling Yuji that I know you must be in a lot of difficulty, so it's okay. Don't pay 3 months interest. But she says it's fine. I had saved money for Grandma. Now I'll give it to you instead. And along with this, she also tells him the old accounts, how, in the past days, she had given 9,000. But when the boss calculates, he realizes that Lou has done something wrong with the money. Now Mr. Feng doesn't let Lou feel anything at all, and on his own, he gets an investigation done about him. Meanwhile, Lou was standing right there. He wanted to bully Yuji a little. But before that, someone else reaches there, and that was Ming. But he hadn't come alone. Many people had come along with him. And Grandma's funeral turns out to be just the way Yuji had dreamed it would be. Her neighbors had come there, her grandma's colleague, the noodle shop uncle, and many other people too, and everyone was saying good things about Grandma. She feels that maybe if Grandma had a dream, this is exactly the kind of funeral it would have been. And along with this, Gue had brought a video there, which Grandma herself had actually recorded. In it, she says that even though I am sick, if I suddenly leave this world, then my message for everyone is don't cry at my funeral. And yes, she especially tells Shop Uncle Kang that you look very bad while crying. And after that, she had told her thoughts about everyone. She had said, I have lived a good life. Of course I wasn't rich, but my life has been peaceful. Especially, I was very blessed because I got a granddaughter like Yuji. And along with this, she was also saying that even though you don't show it, I know that because of me, you have to suffer a lot. And she had just one wish, and that was that my granddaughter should live a successful and peaceful life and always keep smiling. So now Grandma's funeral had gone very well. And after that, Ming wanted to stay with Yuji, but in the meantime, he gets an emergency call. He has to go. Actually, his stepmom was choosing a wedding dress for herself. She calls Ming there and makes sure that he attends the wedding. But along with this, she also says that as soon as you board the plane, I will send money to Yuji so that Grandma's treatment can start as soon as possible. But Ming gets very angry. He says, the one you wanted to get treated has already left this world. Hearing this, Guyan acts as if she is very sad. But Ming felt like this was all just acting. She says a lot. Please listen to me, I really am sad. But he leaves her alone and walks away. On the other hand, we are shown that Jiang was very worried about Yuji. But her mother, though she was still strong, tells her, it's fine, she will handle herself. Meanwhile, Yuji had managed to hold herself together for the time being, but living alone at home had become very hard for her. Everywhere, everything reminded her of Grandma. If she was doing some work, she would forget about it halfway. And in the same way, one time it happened that she had put water to boil. And after that, somehow, because of weakness, her eyes closed, and then as soon as the boiling water spilled down onto the stove, her eyes had shut completely, and the gas started leaking. Yuji kept sleeping for a long time, and in that very state, she had fainted. In the meantime, Ming arrives. The smell of gas was coming from outside her house. He understands what's happening when he keeps calling out to her again and again, and there is no response. He runs up to the roof, and after that, he was about to jump down onto her terrace. He was scared of the height, but he still does it. And then, as soon as he breaks the window and enters her house, he finds out that the leakage had spread very badly. Yuji was unconscious. He picks her up and immediately takes her to the hospital. Now, as soon as her eyes open, she calls out to Ming and says, "Trust me, I was not trying to end my life." Ming was already very scared because of people leaving his life before. He believes what she says and tells her, "I trust you completely." Well, now Ming and his friends together try a lot to make Yuji happy. They spend time with her. They tell her joke, but she wasn't paying attention to anyone's words. She wasn't eating or drinking anything. She just stayed lost in her thoughts and then would fall asleep. She had become very weak. If someone opened the curtains of her room, she would get angry, and today, Ming couldn't bear it anymore. He comes and tells her, "Let's go outside, get a little sunshine." But she refuses him and says, "Just let me sleep." He says, "You'll become even weaker like this." And just at this, she gets up and shouts so much, and both of them get very angry at each other. And then, in the end, Yuji starts crying. Why does fate do this injustice to me? First Dad left, Mom left me and went away, and now Grandma has gone forever. Now, in this situation, Ming hugs her and says, "Don't worry, I am with you, and I won't let you feel lonely." Now she had been discharged from the hospital. Today, Ming takes her straight to his own house, to his mother's house. He prepares a bed for her and tells her, "You haven't been able to rest properly for many days. Eat your food well, sleep with an open heart, and then start a new beginning from tomorrow." He gives her his own bedroom, and he himself goes and lies down on the sofa outside. Yuji really likes his kindness, she thanks him. And then, the next morning, Ming tries very hard to cook food for her, but he couldn't manage to cook it. And along with this, the food he had ordered for delivery also got spoiled because of the rain. Now he tells her sorry, that today your breakfast will be a little late. I'm not as skilled as you. And then he says, "Where would you like to go today? I'll take you out into the fresh air." She says, "Why don't we go for a walk by the seaside today?" And along with this, she also tells him how lonely she has been feeling these days. Here, Ming also opens up his heart completely in front of her and tells her that when his mom had left this world, his condition was exactly like hers. "That's why I can understand your pain, and I won't let you stay lonely for too long." After this, Yuji hugs him and cries a lot. Ming explains to her that even though grandma is not with her in this world to see, she will always remain with her in some other form, like an umbrella over her. Her prayers, her wishes, are with her. Well, after that, in such beautiful weather, the two of them go for a walk. There were many seagulls there. It was a really amazing view. Here, Yuji tells him all her childhood story. She says how, as a child, she used to believe in wishes, and her dad used to say that whatever wish you write and keep under your pillow will definitely come true. Much later, she found out that all this was just her dad tricking her. He asks her, "What was your last wish that didn't come true?" She says that when she was 9 years old, once she got sick because of getting wet in the rain. At that time, a wish had come deeply into her heart that if only I had a bicycle, I would have reached home quickly and wouldn't have fallen sick. Well, after this, she tells Ming, "I have managed to settle myself quite a lot now, and yes, don't worry too much about me. I will now shift to my own house, and I will also take good care of myself. I promise you." Well, today she had stayed at his house for the night. The next day, she would go back. But at night, Ming secretly gets up, and in the middle of the night, runs off to a gaming shop. The shop was open. He had come here to fulfill one of Yuji's dreams. Yuji had always had an obsession with a good bicycle, and right there, this very bicycle was kept as a prize. Whoever scored the highest and broke the record on the tickets would get this same bicycle. So now, the next morning, as soon as Yuji wakes up, she sees that Ming's eyes won't even open this early in the morning. He's sleeping, so she leaves a message next to him saying, "I'm going to work." And then, as soon as she reaches her usual gaming shop, the whole layout there had changed. Tickets were scattered everywhere, and it was that kind of game where you had to collect tickets, and he had stayed awake all night, playing again and again, working very hard to make the highest record. And as soon as Yuji finds out that yesterday, by winning the bicycle prize, Ming took the bicycle away from there, she understands that he is doing all of this just for me. She runs toward her house, and outside her flat, a shiny new bicycle was standing. There was also a sticky note on it, and it was written, "A small present for you, for your new life." And just seeing this message, she becomes very emotional. She feels like the world hasn't ended. Even after grandma's passing, there is someone who loves her so much. She can't hold herself back and calls Ming. She tells him, "You stayed up all night playing the game. You could have just given me this bicycle as a gift yourself. You kept it outside my house. You've given me a huge surprise." He tells her, "I just want you to be happy in life, and I want to be able to fulfill all your wishes." But after that, Yuji says, "By the way, you've brought this bicycle all the way up to the 4th floor. Now who is going to carry it back down? You'll have to carry it yourself." Ming immediately says yes and says, "Bicycle? What bicycle? I'll even carry you down myself." And just hearing this, she becomes really happy. After so many days, a real smile comes onto her face. Boss Feng finds out that Louis has been committing fraud in his name. He goes to Boss Feng's people and collects money, but keeps some of it for himself in the middle. So as soon as this is found out, Boss Feng starts punishing him in his own style. But Louis's only worry was, who revealed my secret? Meanwhile, we are shown that Ming was worried about Yuji, that now she is living alone in her home again. She might get into some trouble. She was never used to living alone. So what he does is, he was talking to her on the phone. He says, "Until you fall asleep, I will not cut this call." Here, in the middle of talking, Yuji says that I feel like watching snowfall. Actually, it had never snowed in their city and Yuji had never gotten a chance to go anywhere outside. After sharing just this one wish, she falls asleep. And after that, as soon as Ming realizes she has fallen asleep, his heart just did not want to disconnect the call. So eventually he falls asleep too. Does not cut the call at all. When he wakes up in the morning, both of them were still connected on the call. In the next scene, Ming feels like doing something to give Yuji a surprise. He immediately goes to the noodle shop. He orders her favorite noodles there. But just then Yuji's eyes open. She had heard a noise like someone was in her kitchen. But she looks and sees that Ming was connected on the call. She starts thinking, who is it that can come into my home when Ming is on the call with me? And with this we find out that it was Louis who had already entered her home with his goons. And then on the call itself, Ming had heard her scream and he starts running toward her home. On the other hand, we are shown that Louis was very angry. He says, "You talked against me to Boss Feng. He punished me and now I have come to punish you." He orders his goons to break every valuable thing in her house. And along with this they were also about to break her beloved bicycle, when Yuji steps forward. She steps forward and those people start hitting her too. But just then Ming arrives upstairs and as soon as he comes he fights them, gets into a fight with them. And in the middle of all this Yuji gets a chance. She calls the police. Just a little while later the police had arrived there. And along with this, Yuji had also recorded some footage which clearly showed that these were the people who attacked. A little while later, Jiang also arrives there. And as both of them go to the police station, he tells them, "You go handle the case, I will handle the house." Now he will clean up the house for Yuji. After that, at the police station, after handling her case, Yuji comes outside. She tells Ming, never put yourself in danger again, because his face also had marks of the fight. And just then, Mr. Feng was also standing ahead. He had also found out about this fight. Louis was his own man. Now he calls Yuji to meet him and of course Ming also comes along. Actually Yuji's flat was on mortgage and these people used to come to collect the installments. Here Mr. Feng tells her, with interest, your amount comes to 170,000. But the money she had collected from here and there for grandma was only 12,000. She says, please receive this. Mr. Feng says, business is business. This is my profession. I have already given you a concession in this. And here Ming steps forward and says, I had sold my bike and I did that only to help you. So he pays the remaining 50,000. And as soon as Uncle receives this, he immediately brings the papers of her home and hands them to her and says, now the debt relationship between you and me is over. From now you are free, no one will bother you. Yuji becomes very happy. She tells Ming, I will return your money soon. Ming says, I am in no hurry. Make 50-year installments and return it slowly. Next day, Ming finds out that his grandfather's condition has gotten worse, and he has been admitted to the hospital. He was going to the hospital so Yuji also goes along with him. But Ming keeps her standing outside. He says, listening to my family's talks will ruin your mood. Actually, Ming felt that at this time only troublemakers were left in his family. Here his dad and his aunt both arrive and were taking care of his dad. But grandfather knew that both of them are more interested in my company than my health and they are serving me only because of who I will hand the company over to. And it was really something like that too. But Ming was feeling sad seeing all of this. Those people were fighting among themselves, but Ming pays no attention. He tells grandfather, I am worried about you. Just get well soon and come home. And this is why grandfather loved Ming so much. He was true at heart. Now the family was separately discussing some things inside, related to their business and company shares. And during this they sent Guyan outside. She and Mom were standing together. Mom wanted to talk to Yuji about some things, but she refuses her and says, you have no right to talk about anything related to my future because I hate you. But Guyan says in reply, what did you want from me, that I keep sacrificing my whole life and sit in that broken down house? I have secured my future and I am not selfish. But Yuji gives her a very sharp reply too and says, fine, you selected a luxurious life for yourself, but could not get respect. Look, they have thrown you out while discussing important company matters. But Guyan was also very sharp. She says, at least I am not poor. And then she starts saying this Liu family is not that good either. Your own future is bright. Leave Ming and think about your own life. Ming should be the last man on earth you ever think about. And then from inside, Daddy and Auntie Qilon come out, and they were coming out fighting about shares between themselves. For the time being, Ming's dad had got success. But Auntie was saying, I am not out of the game. But Dad felt, I am in the game. My son's shares will also come to my side. Actually, Ming also had 10% shares of the company. But Auntie starts saying your son will vote for you in shares? I don't think that will happen. Really, Ming's family was very toxic and terrible. And after seeing all of this, Yuji feels bad for him. She had come to the hospital to keep him company. They both sit together and have lunch. And here in the middle of talking, Yuji finds out that the next day, her mom Gyan's wedding ceremony with Ming's dad has been arranged. She asks him, are you not angry? I had heard you were strongly against this. But Ming says, yes, earlier I used to be against it, but now I don't care because I don't think much about them anymore because a much better person has come into my life to think about. And of course that was Yuji. After that, the two of them talk for quite a long time, and after that Yuji reaches back home. Jiang was waiting for her on the rooftop and starts telling her, many things in your house are broken. Tomorrow we will go shopping together. Yuji tells him, thanks, I will manage myself. Jiang tells her, whenever you feel alone, come have food at our place. But she says the way your mom threw Ming out of the house that day, he was my guest. So I did not feel good about it. It was clearly visible that Yuji wanted to keep distance from those people because of Jiang's mom's behavior. But Jiang tells her, keeping all that aside, our friendship is still intact and whenever you need me, I will be ready to help you. Next morning, Yuji had arrived at the hospital with breakfast for Ming. Both of them sit together in the cafeteria. They eat some snacks and enjoy. Ming was telling that today grandfather will get discharged. But still he will not go to Dad's wedding at all because maybe grandfather also did not like Gyan at all. Now Yuji had come here, so she says, before leaving from here I will go meet Dr. Chen because he helped a lot in grandma's treatment. Then she goes to the ward where Dr. Chen worked. She finds out that he had left for the cafeteria just a little while ago. So she goes, but here when those people were talking she overhears their conversation. Some doctors were discussing among themselves. They were saying Gyan's wedding is today, and that too in the Liu family. She used to be the wife of Director Zhu too. And do you know what happened so many years ago? When Director Zhu passed away, it happened because his wife refused to get him more treatment. If he had gotten a little more treatment, maybe his life could have been saved. Now this pulls the ground from under Yuji's feet. She finds out that her mom had fallen this low. If she had not given up at that time, maybe her dad would have been alive, or at least he could have lived a few more years. She comes to Dr. Chen and says, is this true what you are saying? Did my dad have chances of surviving? Dr. Chen says things in a roundabout way. Well, his cancer had spread quite a lot, but still in this surgery there were chances that he could have lived a few more years. Hearing this, Yuji feels like her mom was even worse than she already thought. She remembers all those times when she used to miss her dad. Her mom would shout at her. And in the end, she had taken the insurance money saying, I spent so many years with him in poverty. After her dad's business went bankrupt, Mom was only after the insurance money. That is why she wanted, instead of spending money on treatment, it would be better if he just dies. Now Yuji runs. She was feeling like Grandma also must have given up on her treatment because of Gyan's words, because she was a long-time sinner. First she made my dad give up, and then Grandma too. On the other hand, when grandfather was getting discharged from the hospital, he had told Ming one thing: if your heart says so, go to the wedding. If your heart does not say so, tell them grandfather had stopped you. On the other hand, we are shown that today Gyan was living the day she had been dreaming of for so many years. Her wedding ceremony was happening. Many VIP guests had come. But just then Yuji also arrives there. The guards stop her. But still she enters inside. She comes straight to her mom and asks, did you also tell Grandma to give up treatment? You must have brainwashed her too, just like you did with Dad. You have killed Dad in a way too, and then Grandma also. But here Gyan tries very hard to tell her, today is an important day. These talks can happen later. But here Yuji had screamed once or twice, and people were turning to look at her. Here Gyan's blood runs cold again. She loudly says in front of everyone, you did not even give the college entrance exam. You are not serious about studies. That is why your sponsorship has been ended. And now instead of being grateful that I raised you for so many years, you are coming to my wedding and creating a scene. You deserve to have your scholarship stopped." And saying this, she tells the guard, "Throw her out." But before the guard could throw her out, Ming arrives there and says, "If anyone has the courage, try and touch her." Everyone knew he was grandfather's favorite. No guard comes near Yuji now. And passing by, Ming tells his dad, "You deserve this. This lady is a perfect couple with you because you also cheated on your wife. You had pushed her into such deep depression that she ended herself, and this one has also come here taking many lives." And just as he is leaving, he also wishes Guyan, "Look, the life my mother lived, you will also live the same life as the legal wife of the Liu family, suffering and struggling." After that, he takes Yuji with him and leaves. Well, whatever those two did, they had certainly ruined the wedding ceremony of that stepmom, which she had been planning for many years. Now here Ming takes Yuji along and shows her how to paint anger. He was throwing splashes of paint on a canvas, and just like this, Yuji also copies him and releases all her anger there. Meanwhile, on the day Guyan had been dreaming of, everyone had left her alone. People were also making fun of her, and her own husband leaves for a business trip. He does not even pick up her call and tells the driver, "Drop her home." Meanwhile, when Yuji was sad, Ming hugs her and tells her, "I am here with you." But she says, "When you go abroad once these summers end, then I will be left alone again." Then he says, "I have made my decision. I no longer need to go abroad. I will stay here with you. I will protect you too and be happy myself too." In the next scene, we see that as soon as Zhang's mom finds out that Ming's dad has gotten married, she is very angry and upset. She is drinking and at the same time telling her son that as soon as you get admission in university, we will leave this house and shift there. Next day, as soon as Yuji opens her eyes, she sees that Ming has brought a gift for her. It was a bouquet and she loves the flower. Ming tells her that your lawn looks a little empty. Why not plant some flowers in it? He says, "Whatever you want. You can decorate it however you like." And after that, we find out that today they had gone to meet Ning and Fan, who had finally become a couple. After that, Ming tells Yuji that you wait for me at home. I have some work. I need to go meet Grandpa. Meanwhile, before waiting at home, she goes to a nursery. She carefully chooses some beautiful plants from there and goes home to decorate the lawn. She was preparing this surprise for Ming and messages him to come back soon. He says, "I am on my way," but at the same time, we see that he had gone to Grandpa's house and was telling him that I have 10% shares and I do not want to give my vote to anyone, not to Auntie and not to Dad. Grandpa had said yes to him, but as soon as he comes outside, his dad starts with his trick. He begins telling him that Yuji created a scene at my wedding. Do you think I will forgive her? I will have her picked up and question her for every reason. I will trouble her. I will make her life very difficult. Yes, but on one condition I can dismiss all of this, and that is even if you do not vote for me for the share, just come with me. There was another man, their business partner, who had a lot of shares, and he just wanted to show in front of him that I live in a happy family. Only then could that man's share vote go to Dad. He puts forward this condition, and along with that also says that not just this, but after this you will be a good child and go abroad. And all of this he wanted to achieve by blackmailing him in Yuji's name. Yuji was his weak point, his red line. He immediately sits in the car with Dad, but as soon as he reaches their house, Dad does something like this. First, he confiscates his phone and says that until the shareholders' meeting happens, you cannot step out of this house. Be a good child, otherwise I will go and meet Yuji. On the other hand, Yuji was worried that Ming's phone was not reachable. Not even any message reply was coming. Ming was trying his best on his side to escape from there, to contact Yuji, but nothing was working out. But through Fan, Yuji had found out at least this much, that this often happens in the Liu family. His dad takes away his phone to teach him a lesson. He locks him at home for a few days too. But Yuji says, "I will not let this happen now. I will go to help him." Jiang also hears this and starts telling her that if you want to meet him, I can clear a path for you. Now Jiang was of course a child of the Liu family. He was their blood, so he had entry to go inside that house. He enters the house, but instead of locking it, he leaves it open, and just like this, Yuji enters inside. She already knew the house, so she quickly runs and hides and reaches below Ming's window. She throws 1 or 2 stones inside. When he sees her, he is shocked. He signals her to go away from here. When she does not go, he sends her a message from above in a very cute way which said, "Sorry I could not keep my promise, but you go." But she replies, "I will not just go like that. I will take you along and run away with you. Meanwhile, Jiang had gone inside and his dad was surprised that why did he suddenly come to meet, and he had made the excuse that I have come to return the fountain pen you gave me, and in a short while I am shifting to Beijing. We are leaving this house, and after that we do not want to keep any connection with the Liu family. His dad says you came all the way to my house just for this small thing? I cannot believe it. And after that he makes him sit with him. He gives him a drink too, and tells him that whatever happens I am your biological father. And at the same time he was giving him advice related to studies that instead of choosing computer science, choose architecture. He always thought about his own benefit. He wanted him to choose architecture because he himself was in the real estate business. And at the same time he starts telling him that I trust you that you will be smart. For a man, his career is the most important thing. Do not become like Ming, who is risking his career for a young age romance. In the next scene, these talks were still going on when suddenly the fire alarm goes off. Actually, this was Yuji's doing, and just then as soon as the guards reach Ming, he starts telling them that I am safe. But think about your boss, and they immediately run to find Dad. He picks up his phone from here. Yuji finds him, and in the meantime the emergency lights also turn on. Everyone was searching for Ming, and Yuji finally managed to escape from there. The people chase them for a little while but then give up. Dad finds out that Yuji had come here and had done all of this. My son has been taken away by her. He first gets angry at Jiang that she came here using your excuse, and you have betrayed me. He first fights with him a lot, and then after that starts telling him that the mistake you have made, now correct it. Compensation will be like this, that tomorrow you will go with me to a family dinner with Mr. Jing. I was going to take Ming before. Now that he is not here, you will go. He says, am I also Ming's backup plan? But Dad's heart was not touched by these words at all. He very practically says Ming himself gave up this chance, and it has come to you. Take advantage of it. On the other hand, we see that Yuji and Ming had decided that they will go somewhere far where they can also see snowfall, and that is why they booked their train ticket. This train journey was not very comfortable, but still both of them were very happy because they were together. There they enjoy the beautiful views together and finally arrive in a city called Baking. This looked like a very traditional type of city. Sitting together here they eat the local food. They enjoy together. They also play some games. They felt like life is very beautiful. They were feeling very free. And in this traditional city, they see a church where a simple wedding was happening. And seeing this, Yuji says that every girl dreams of such an ending, but I feel that my life is still very beautiful. And along with this, she tells Ming, why don't we both start dating? And that was what he always wanted, and just like that these two kiss, and now finally they had become girlfriend and boyfriend. After that, Yuji falls asleep in Ming's lap, and then along with this, she has a dream that, as if in that same church Yuji and Ming are standing, their wedding ceremony takes place. They complete all the ritual. And then after that Ming gives her a book and says with a serious face that fairy tales are never true. These are all lies, and along with this, as soon as she opens the storybook, she feels as if all the happy characters have been replaced by the faces of monsters. And what is happily ever after in the stories? Her story is something like the story of her mom and dad. Her mom and dad always used to fight, and she feels as if romance only lasts for a few days. When the reality of life comes in front, life becomes a horror film. Well, thank God. All of this was just a dream. Meanwhile, in the main city, we see that Dad had taken his son Jiang to meet his business partner. But Jiang looked a little upset. His clothes and shoes were also a little loose. But Dad just had to get his work done. He was very happy after this meeting and says that you talk so intelligently about business. From now on you will come with me to such dinners. His business partner was very happy that this boy got admission in the biggest university of the country on his own strength. But Jiang was very upset, and the reason for his being upset we will find out in a little while. On the other hand, in the other city, we see that they were going to stay in a hotel, and here intentionally Ming says that we need a single room, but later changes it to double. But right from here their sad story starts, because both his cards had been declined. His dad had suspended his cards. Now they did not have enough money to stay in this VIP hotel. They will have to find a cheap hotel, a place where combining both their cash, their expenses could be covered. Meanwhile, as soon as Jiang comes back home, his mom was showing the house to some lady for renting it out because she was planning to shift from here, and that lady was very happy that your son is so capable. So many models and trophies were standing there, and also the place where he got admission was everyone's dream. But Jiang was very upset. He immediately starts shouting and throws that lady out of the house, saying this house is not for rent. And after that, he starts breaking and destroying everything in his room. He was so upset because the clothes and shoes he had been made to wear were quickly taken from Ming's own. His worn clothes were put on him, and Dad had presented him somewhere else. He thinks that until when will I only live as just a shadow of Ming? On the other hand, Ming and Yuji had to travel more towards the north side. But if they went by train or bus, the ticket cost was too much. That is why he thinks, why not go on a bike? And right here some bikes were standing in scrap. Ming does a little work here. He fixes those bikes and buys a bike at scrap price. Now both of them continue their further travel on the bike. This journey was very beautiful for them. They were both lost in each other's love, and together they take a lot of photos. They enjoy, but Yuji was planning very well what kind of place to stay they need and how to carry on work and their studies together. For this, they finally find a place. This place was very simple, and here they have to clean it up themselves and set it up, and along with that there was a small restaurant and motel type place, and by helping the house owner with service, they could also earn some money. Right here, they also find a cute little dog of the house owner with whom they enjoy even more. Here, most of the time, they would make instant noodles to eat. Yuji starts saying that I want to retake the college entrance exam because that was grandma's dream, and I will fulfill her dream and get admission in a good place. And Ming says, whatever dream you are setting for yourself, I will walk on those same footsteps. Whichever side you go, you will lead my life, and I want to spend every summer with you. Until today, I have never made a promise to anyone, but I make this one to you. Now hearing this promise once, Yuji is surprised. Ming was scared she was going to say no, but she says, why only summer? We will spend winter and fall all together. After that, both of them go to a bookstore. They were selecting some books related to their studies, and along with this, both of them call their best friend. Fan was surprised that why does Ming need to study? He can easily get admission in any private university, but he says no. Now my dreams are connected with Yuji, and I will work hard properly. I will also protect her. I will stay with her, and yes, I never want to become her junior. That is why I have to clear the entrance exam this very year. After that, right from here, both of them had also purchased a gift for each other. At night, both of them were standing around a bonfire. They were asking each other who will show the gift first. But then finally, both of them exchanged gifts with each other at the same time, and something so strange had happened in it. And do you know what it was? Ming had got her picture printed. And that picture was exactly from the very first scene when she had created such a big scene in the assembly. At that time, Yuji was competing, and a photo of both of them together had been clicked. Well, what had Yuji bought for him? A photo frame. They start thinking that how can this be? We had absolutely no idea what the other had taken. Whatever was taken, it perfectly matched with each other. That is why they say that we are meant for each other.